When a photographer gets serious about their work, they begin to use filters and filter systems to gain greater control over their exposures. A number of years ago, I had invested in a high-end filter kit from a company called Wine Country Camera to help my architectural and fine art imagery just elevate a little bit further. Now, their filter kit is incredibly well built. It's of some of the highest quality materials I've ever experienced. But that comes at a cost, not only to your pocketbook, but also to the portability and your ability to pack it. And even in use in the field, it can be a little bit fiddly at times. And so when K&F Concept reached out to me 6 months ago, wanting to know if I wanted to try their Square System Filter Pro, I said, sure, send me a copy. And so that's exactly what they did. They were kind enough to send me this copy of their Square System Filter Pro. And before I get into the details of what I think about this product, because I've been using it now for about 4 months on various architectural photo shoots, and overall, I have to say I am impressed. But before I get into that, look at this box. I mean, I'm kind of a packaging geek, and I love it when companies spend time crafting a beautiful box for their product. That tells me that the company values the product, they value me as a customer, and they really think that what they have is special. And so I love the two-tone, the orange and the black that matches their logo. I really love the fact that it has this awesome little positive magnetic locking enclosure. I mean, just listen to this little snap. I just love this. I know I'm geeking out. It's ridiculous, but there's something so cool about a little magnetic enclosure on a box instead of this tape or some sort of sealant or something. The thing that really impressed me though, box aside, because a good box usually means good things inside, at least to me. So when I opened up the flap for the first time, I got to see a gorgeous leatherette filter case. The things I love about this filter case are not only the design and the style of it with the gray and the brown leatherette and the very apparent stitching, but this orange tab helps you open the magnetic enclosure. They did the magnetic enclosures again, which I think are great. And when you pull that tab up, it elevates your filters so that you have quick and easy access to grabbing them. And I really do like that about this case. However, the overall size and design of it I found did not fit into my camera bag and does not fit as well as I thought in my camera case. And so I end up not using this. I just take everything out and I put everything in little pouches that fit nice and neat in my camera bag. If you have the space for something like this, you'll find this to be incredibly useful. Otherwise, you'll have to do what I've done, and that is separate everything out. But it is nice to know that for the price, you're not just getting the filters and the filter holder system, you're getting this really nice case to go along with it in a really nice box as well. But enough about the box and enough about the case. Let's talk about what matters most, and that is the filters and the filter holder itself. Inside this case, you will receive a 100 by 150 millimeter soft graduated neutral density filter, a 100 by 100 ND1000, which I believe is a 3-stop neutral density filter. You'll receive 4 adapter rings, an 82 millimeter, 77 millimeter, 72 millimeter, and a 67 millimeter adapter ring. In addition to all that, you'll receive a polarizer filter, and then you'll notice that this polarizing filter has geared teeth around the perimeter, and that's so that when you slide the filter into your filter holder through this unique coin slot design and using this swing arm, you just simply lower it down and lock it into place. And once it's engaged, you can use this orange wheel to rotate your filter once your filter holder's been locked onto the adapter ring. Now, what I really love about this filter holder is its size. I mean, when I compare this to, say, my Wine Country camera filter kit, it's kind of obvious. One is much, much smaller, much lighter, much thinner. However, it has to be said, this is version 1 of Wine Country Camera's filter kit, and they have a version 2 which is much smaller in comparison to this, I think, but it's still very large. I will say though, as far as build quality is concerned, I don't think anybody has Wine Country Camera beat. It's just, let's just say they're over-engineered and they're over-designed and they're really meant to take a beating. However, the majority of the work that I do, I'm dealing with architecture, so it's not like I'm in these incredibly hostile environments or anything like that. So something like this is a welcome addition to my camera bag. Again, it's light, it's thin, and I feel like it's going to hold up really well over time. It seems to be milled from a solid piece of aluminum, and then even this little swing arm that brings the filter in and out of the filter holder seems to be built really well, and I feel like it should hold up very, very well. Some of the things that I am not so sure about, and I say that only because I'm not a huge fan of plastic. It's the filter rails or whatever these are called. It's done pretty traditionally, like you would any other, like a leaf filter system or something, where you more or less just slide the filter into place, and then you have to adjust it up and down. I'm not a huge fan of that type of system, mainly because there is potential for you to bump the camera while adjusting. Now, in practical use, I haven't really had any real problems using this particular system. So what I tend to use most is the polarization. And I will say that in comparison to the Wine Country camera polarizer, this particular polarizer is definitely a lot thinner, and I don't believe it's made to the same standards as theirs are, but there's definitely a huge price difference. The images are still plenty sharp. I'm using a GFX 100S and a GFX 50S2, and I haven't seen any degradation in the color or sharpness of my images. And so kudos to K&F to having such a high quality piece of glass that's as thin as it is, that can polarize as well as it does. And so would I say that it's as good as the Wine Country? No, probably not. I think that one's just a much clearer. It doesn't induce any sort of color cast, but in your day-and-day work, I don't think you'll notice it in the K&F kit itself. And as far as the other filters are concerned, you'll notice, similar to the way Wine Country cameras work, is you've got these little filter frames. I think K&F calls these frames, and Wine Country calls them vaults. The Wine Country vaults are definitely built to a higher standard. They are much more robust, much more rugged. Getting your filters in and out of here are much simpler just by sliding this coin, or whatever they call this, in and out of place. Your filter can just drop in and out, and that's super nice. The best part about having any sort of frame for your glass filters is not touching the filter itself. You're keeping your dirty, nasty fingertips off of those filters, which is absolutely necessary when you want to get crystal clean images. But K&F, they came up with a really nice, thin plastic design. They do sell additional frames so that if you have filters from a different system that are 100 by 100 or 100 by 150, then you can use these frames and use their filter system. So it's a pretty inexpensive way of getting into their system. Now, Wine Country Camera does the same sort of thing, but like I said, the way theirs is built it's much higher quality, and it's more robust. It's definitely built to take the elements, and you're gonna pay a pretty penny for these. So if you're an outdoor photographer, you're in the deserts, you're in the tundra, whatever, yeah, this stuff's definitely gonna hold up, I think, better than K&F system. But I have not done any real world trials on that, so I can't say. When I compare the K&F filter kit to the Wine Country camera filter kit, they both function in very similar ways. I almost wonder if K&F didn't look at what Wine Country camera was doing and thought, let's do that, but let's make it cheaper. And I don't necessarily mean in build quality, I just mean in terms of price. The kit that they sent me is less than $300 US, whereas a similar kit from Wine Country camera is going to set you back close to $700. So there's like a $400 difference there. And I don't think it shows in the final quality of your images. And what I mean by that is there's no noticeable color casts or flaring or vignetting or anything that I'm noticing in any of my images. The only time I ever see vignetting is when I'm using a Canon tilt shift lens adapted to my Fujifilm GFX cameras. And that's to be expected. The image circle is only so big, and you're going to get vignetting regardless. The filter holder from K&F is definitely much thinner than my Wine Country camera filter, and so I see these edges less than I do the Wine Country camera filter. However, the Wine Country camera filter is actually wider side to side, so that is supposed to cut down on the amount of vignetting you would normally see. When I compare the two, it's pretty negligible. I would give a slight win to the KNF as far as vignetting is concerned. I haven't noticed light leaks with any of them, or any sort of light passing in and creating funny reflections or anything. So what I really love about the KNF filter system is just the fact that it's so much smaller and lightweight for a 100mm system. I like that this particular kit gives you 4 adapter rings included, as opposed to what Wine Country Camera gives us, which is only 1 adapter ring of your choice, and then you have to buy the other rings. As far as build quality is concerned, I'm going to give the KNF probably, I'd say, around a 9 out of 10 overall, just because I haven't really, having had it for 4 months, I haven't really put it through a lot of abuse yet. The Wine Country camera gets a 10 out of 10. I have dropped it. It's fallen off of my lens and, fallen onto asphalt and concrete, and it's all held up, and none of my filters have gotten scratched in the process. And so the Wine Country camera still gives like 10 out of 10 across the board, except for in portability and size. The KNF filter is definitely holds the bar when it comes to size and weight and portability. Even though I'm not exactly sure about how well these filter frames will hold up over time, I'm glad to see that they're selling additional frames and that they're relatively inexpensive and should be easy to replace if I need to. They do seem definitely much flimsier compared to the Wine Country camera ones. Overall, though, there is really nothing I dislike about this product. I'd have to say KNF had me loving this product the moment I snapped it onto that filter ring. The satisfaction of knowing that this filter holder is not going to just pop off at any given time really does set me at ease when I'm on site shooting for a client. When I compare it to what I've been using with Wine Country camera, I'd say it's equal. Again, my eye can't see a difference. Now, I'm sure there is a difference. Wine Country's process is a much higher quality process, and the overall design and build of their stuff is to a much higher standard. However, for the vast majority of us, I think KNF's is the way to go. I mean, the price can't be beat. The system is lightweight. It does come with a great case if you can fit it in your bag. Or if you're like me, you can just take it out and pack it the way that you need to and carry this really awesome set of filters, adapter rings, and polarizer in a super lightweight form. And for the price, yeah, it just can't be beat. And if you want to get yourself one, I've got a link in the description below. You can pick one up. KNF will ship it right out to you. If you like this video, I've got another one over here that you can check out. I'd love to see you in that one. Till next time, God bless.